Hello, everyone, and welcome to SCS, the weekly competitive Guns Vicarous tournament. This is the 193rd entry. My name is Urs, and we're just about to get into our first match here between the Fancy Cloud Dancers and We Got This. Today's tournament is going to be a double elimination bracket, each match played as best of one sets. And we have 4 teams signed up. So here we go. First game of the day, Fancy Cloud Dancers versus We Got This. First off for the Fancy Cloud Dancers, we have Fancy, piloted by Daniel. It is a Mobula with a Center Mercury, field gun, light carronade, and Gatling for close range, dual Artemis for long range. Their ally is the Gizmo Duck, piloted by Spudnik. It is a Junker, Gatling, dual Artemis for the left side, Banshee, and light carronade for the right. Their opponents, We Got This, bringing the Bear Shocktopus, a more traditional long-range Junker, Hades dual Artemis with left side Gatling mortar, and finally, rounding out the We Got This roster, Hwachafish with light carronades on either side, piloted by DS. And already, red team moving in. Hwachafish not in position. He went on a scouting mission, it seems, and goodbye blue Junker. As soon as his armor goes down, if they Fancy Cloud Dancers are able to land one Artemis shot against this exposed hole, they will go down. And already it seems like a decisive victory in the first fight for FCD. Potent Voyager, armor going down, burning, balloon is down, armor shots coming in, Banshee from the Gizmo Duck. Probably going to be it. Sandstorm here doing a little bit of component damage to the ships involved, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop Gizmo Duck and Fancy from taking out this blue goldfish. Watch, I'm not going to do a whole lot, and I assume we're probably gonna see a far west spawn from the blue Junker would be my guess. Because red team has this first fight has taken place in blue's side of the map. We Got This is going to have to be very careful about where they choose to spawn, and spawn timer should be expiring in just a moment here, and I suspect we'll see them around C9 would be my guess. And I'll also be curious to see if FCD, if they're going to start heading in that direction. The 2 spawns here, yeah, there you go. B9, rather. There's a B9 spawn, and also I think an I9 on the east side, which is a little bit closer to where the fight took place. So here's Bear Shocktopus already in. I don't think they have visibility here because of the cloud. So FCD, using their knowledge of the map spawns, this is the most likely place for We Got This to come back in, and already moving over there. We'll take a look at that area of the map. You see, it's pretty wide open. There's not a lot of cover. There are some dust clouds here, and then this one engine block that's dropped in the sand. This is the only piece of cover that either team is going to have access to. And I wonder... Alright, first spot going down. So FCD has confirmed the spawn points of We Got This. And already Merc shots coming in. This is partial blind. Well, now it's not anymore, because they're below the cloud. Mobula's spotted. Gizmo Duck, the only ship unspotted here. Mobula looks like on move in to use light range, Oof, having trouble with words today. The close range guns. Light carronade, going to do very well against Bear Shocktopus's balloon. Already down to 30%, while the Gizmo Duck picks up on the Potent Voyager in the back. Armor is down. Artemis on that left side, so not going to do a whole lot of damage, but it's going to do a good job keeping the Hwacha suppressed. So it may be a slow kill from the Gizmo Duck, but a sure one. And now Gizmo Duck moving to close range side, using light carronade, doing a little bit of balloon damage to the blue goldfish. This is going to be a tough lock for the Potent Voyager to escape from. They do get a Hwacha, partial Hwacha barrage off. Not able to take down any guns on the Gizmo Duck. And in the meantime, Fancy and Bear Shocktopus going forward as well. We saw earlier Fancy got lost their armor early on in that fight, but it seems like they've taken control of the situation with the light carronade and the Gatling gun doing a lot of armor damage. Bear Shocktopus already down to 30% thermal hull. No engines. Artemis, both the Fancy and Gizmo Duck making great use of the explosive disable weapon. If the target has no engines and it has no guns, even if you lose a little bit of DPS to bring the disable weapons, it doesn't matter because you can just take as long as you want to kill them. And probably going to see a kill on the Potent Voyager here as well. Very low. Goldfish, not a lot of armor. Here comes the Gatling from the Gizmo Duck, and one more Artemis shot will do it. And goodbye Bear Shocktopus as well. 4 points on the board for FCD. Doing a really great job with Hwacha Goldfish. A tough ship to run on an open map like this. You don't have a lot of safe areas to approach. And it gives a lot of the open air, makes it very easy for these ships. Both these ships have 2 Artemis. Artemis very effective against a single heavy weapon of the Goldfish. Especially on open air maps. That's going to make it very difficult for the Potent Voyager to keep their weapons functional. I don't know. I wonder if the fish junker composition is something they maybe practice for other maps, but it's definitely not working for them here on Battle on the Dunes. And then we have another spawn coin flip here. FCD moving away from the western spawn towards the eastern spawn. And it looks like they're spawning east, the blue team is. Behind the rest of these ships. Spot's already going down. There's good visibility into blue's entire spawn area from this center area. The center north, let's call it, point to the map. And one thing I'm curious about is We Got This going to try to set up the fight to take place by this rusty ship, so they have a little bit of cover from those Artemis that I was just speaking about. Hades going out on the Fancy. In a 1v1 long-range fight, theoretically, Junker could win because it's an Hades versus a Merc. Gunning being the same, but unfortunately Bear Shocktopus rising up here, now getting dual focus by both the Gizmo Duck and the Fancy. You can see how much damage Quad Artemis will do when centered on one target. This forces Potent Voyager up to try to push the Gizmo Duck away from their ally. They don't get, once again, no component disables from the Hwacha on the Blue Goldfish. Very unfortunate. Well, the Bear Shocktopus still has their engines knocked out. They're kind of stuck in a repair cycle here. Fancy moving in. It looks like they're going for the Voyager, but then switching to the Bear Shocktopus, going for a Ram as well, knocking out the armor and killing the Blue Junker. A quick 5 points for FCD. They will be moving on to the winners finals of today's bracket. We Got This. This was not their map, but they will be playing again in the losers bracket a little later on in the tournament.